Shalom, Kol Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ruchak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who have taught us this knowledge. Honors and salutations to you fellow laborers that are out there doing the work of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all you Achim that's doing so, and I want to say shalom to the Achwaf that believe as well. Back at you with another lesson, and I'm on my journey to work, so bear with me, Lord, whether you can hear me. I'm gonna have traffic riding by, so Lord, when you can hear me. All right, so getting to the video, right? You see the title of the news segment from WION News. It says, U.S. says, which the United States says Iran seized ship in Gulf waters. Navy refrains from interference. Now, the Gulf is referring to the Persian Gulf because Iran is Persia in the Bible, okay? And their name, excuse me, their name changed from Persia to Iran in 1935, okay? But they're the same people, right? It's just the name change, all right? That's a part of that covering cast, right? Over the nations, the false identity, all right? False titles and stuff that's on the nations, but we that know the scriptures, all right, know that they're the Persians, all right? And you can even look that up, all right? Google former name of Iran, and it'll say Persia, and it'll tell you that it changed in 1935. Now, when you look at the fact that the Heavenly Father is going to send an assembly of nations against Babylon, right? Well, one of those nations, okay, are the Iranians. Excuse me. One of those nations are the Iranians. Okay. Again, they're the Persians. All right, they're the Persians. And with them seizing, the ship in the Persian Gulf, shows you that, hey, the scriptures don't lie, because the scriptures say, "Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out," which I'm going to get that real quick. It's at Jeremiah 49 and 20, I believe. Let's go over there. All right. Excuse me. Jeremiah 49 and verse 20. It says, "Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Edom." Yeah, which are the Edomites, man. All right, the so-called white or so-called Caucasian people. All right, which they were called Caucasians because they lived in the Caucasus Mountains. All right, the word Caucasian goes back to the definition of cave dwelling or mountain dwelling, because they lived in the mountains. Okay. All right, beginning with their elites on down. All right, which are the central banking families, the small hats, on down to the lowest Edomite. Okay, they're the house of Esau, Edom. All right. It says, "Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out." See? "Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them." Okay? And, these Persians, all right, these Persians have, righteous anger against, all right, Babylon, okay, the so-called Americans, because of the assassination of General Soleimani, right? They assassinated him. All right, so the Persians want retaliation for that, because he was the top general, all right, within the Iranian army, all right, and You got a lot of people that love him from, Iran to other countries over in the so-called Middle East. All right. So that guy was a big deal over there, right? And he was assassinated. He was murdered by the Americans, okay, so-called Americans. So you gotta keep that in mind as well, all right? And with them seizing the ship, knowing that America, all right, Babylon, again, is a big importing country, all right? America hardly export anything, right? But they import most of the things they get, all right? I want to say anywhere from 90 to 95% of its goods are imported from other countries. So with the seizing of this ship could be another blow on the American economy, all right? So let me play the video clip. Lord willing, again, it's edifying, all right? So let's play the clip.
Now, tensions between US and Iran are on the rise in the Gulf. US has said that Iran has seized a commercial ship in the transit. This comes just...
Yeah, a commercial ship of goods. Excuse me. Because, on those ships, all right, on those ships you have a lot of goods, okay? And I would know, I was just on the road or over the road, all right, trucking, right? I'm still trucking, but I'm local, right? I'm local now. But I was just over the road and I was just at those docks, okay? I was over there right on the docks, all right? And those ships are full of the cargo containers. And within those containers, you have different goods from these several countries, all right, that export their goods, all right, to America, all right. So if the goods don't get here to the docks and onto the warehouses, and from the warehouses on the shelves of these different various stores, all right, that could be a loss, all right, financially or economically. It'd be an economic loss, right? So that could be a huge deal, man, because the American economy depends on those cargo ships, okay? So let's continue to play it.
A day after Washington claimed that it had thwarted similar attempts by Tehran on 2 commercial ships. The latest claim was made by the US Navy on Thursday. It said that Iran's Revolutionary Guards forcibly took hold of a commercial ship. However, the identity of the ship has not been revealed. The Navy added that it took cognizance of the move, but decided not to act against it. US suspects that the ship could possibly have been engaged in smuggling activity.
See? Excuse me. They let you know right there. It says that the Iranians, all right, which are the Persians, they took that ship by force, man. All right? And the US Navy was right there in that area. And they didn't retaliate. They didn't interfere. All right, so there was no interference by the US Navy because America doesn't fight, all right, countries that can fight back. And if you remember the Iran nuclear deal, the Iranian nuclear deal was so that the Iranians won't continue its nuclear missile, or enhance, their nuclear missile capability. All right. And, that Iranian deal was to suppress the amount of uranium that the Iranians push, because the main component of the nuclear missile, all right, is the uranium, okay? And pretty much with the deal being off the table, All right, remember that it was Donald Trump, all right, that took the deal off the table. All right, he took the deal off the table, and the Iranians, all right, continued their production of producing uranium. All right, and they have been testing their missile capability, their capabilities for a long time. All right, they have nuclear weapons, man. All right, they're no longer a weak country. This is the book of Joel. Let me get that Joel, the 3rd chapter. Bear with me 1 second. Grab this precept. And Shalakia, my sinus is draining, so. This is Joel chapter 3. And let me see, I think I passed it. Joel 3 and verse 9. The point is in verse 10. I'm gonna start at verse 9, right? Joel 3 and 9 says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Yeah, which is, weapons of war, right? And the countries that have weapons of war and enhance them and made them better, they are preparing for war, all right? Because this World War III, all right, that third woe, it's being stirred up by the Lord. Okay? It says, verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. So you have countries like, Iran, all right? You have countries like North Korea, all right? They were once weak, but they're strong because they have, nuclear missile capability, okay? And that makes them strong because it puts them on the equal playing field, all right, against Babylon, so-called America, all right, Esau in general, because Esau, his blessing is the sword, all right, and the biggest sword on earth today is the missiles, which the missiles were created for the Lord's purpose. See, it tells you that in Isaiah 54 and 16, all right, the Lord had those missiles created for his purpose. So when it's time for those missiles to come out, which the scriptures refer to them as arrows, that's a metaphor for the missiles, those arrows are going to be shot on Babylon the Great. All right, because remember that Babylon, all right, and Edom, all right, goes hand in hand because, again, the daughter of Babylon, or Babylon the Great, all right, is referring to, all right, the Edomites, okay? Because the Edomites, all right, their nation, all right, the house of Esau, Edom, is the daughter of Babylon, okay? And so, pretty much, the Lord has prepared their judgment, all right? And their judgment is great, okay? And it just happened to be that the Persians play a part of prophecy concerning the nations or countries that are going to come up against Babylon, all right? Now, before I go there, let's go to the book of Jeremiah 50 and 9, okay? Jeremiah 50 and 9. It says, Jeremiah 50 and 9, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From this she shall be taken. Their arrows, which are the missiles, shall be as of a mighty man. Sorry, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Yeah, again, those arrows are the missiles. All right, and they're going to be fired upon Babylon, which is America. It's going to make America desolate. All right, and excuse me, again, one of those nations are the Persians, because the North Country, or the country that sits furthest north, is the Russians. Okay, and the Russians, they're Gog in the scriptures. All right, in the land of Magog, that's the Russians, man. All right, when you know the biblical map, the Russians sit there. Okay, and the Russians, all right, are aligned with the Persians, because the Persians and the Russians, all right, they're in agreement with each other. All right, now in the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, it tells you that the Persians are going to be along with the people of Gog, the land of Magog, to come against Babylon, right? This is Ezekiel 38 and verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Now, when you look that up, it'll go back to Japheth, but remember, the people of Japheth were pushed out, all right, and replaced with the Edomites. All right, so it's referring to the Edomites that sits in the land of Magog, all right, which today will be the Russians, okay? It says, verse 3, and say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. All right, so that's talking about the Lord bringing out all of its military, all right, from that country. And that's going to be, all right, the time that America, all right, Babylon is going to be judged. All right, but it goes on to say in verse 5, right, it mentions some of the countries or nations, right? Verse 5, it says, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. So it mentions Persia, all right, as one of those countries. Okay, now I'm gonna look up Persia, right? So I want to look up Persia and web search, right? With a web search, it says why was Persia renamed Iran? See, it gives you the date, right? It says on the day of the Persian New Year, it says March 21st, 1935, Reza Shah Pahlavi requested foreign delegates to use the term Iran instead of Persia, in a conscious reference to the ancient ancestry of the Iranians. See? So that's how you know, all right, that the Iranians are the Persians, all right? Just because the name change doesn't mean that they're not the people, okay? And that really goes into that covering cast, all right? Because calling themselves Iranians, all right, is a cover-up of them being, you know, the Persians in the Bible, okay? So let's go back to the scriptures, right? So those Persians or Iranians today, right, they're going to be one of those countries or nations that come up against Babylon, all right? And they're not going to stop, you know, coming against this place, because again, remember, they want retaliation for General Soleimani, okay? Now, right here in the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, right? excuse me, because when you know the history of the Medo-Persian Empire, all right, the Medo-Persian Empire was the empire. You had the people of Elam, people of Persia, all right, jointly in the empire together, right? And pretty much that old nation or old kingdom, all right, and its people is still here today, all right? Elam will be India, all right, the East Indians, which is Elam in the Bible. And then you have the Persians, which they're the Iranians. So with the Iranian deal, it involved money. See, it involved money to try to appease to the Iranian government, all right, the leaders of Iran, to stop with its nuclear ambitions, all right, again, enhancing their nuclear capability, right? That's what the Iranian deal was about, right? This is Isaiah 13 and verse 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which should not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, because they don't want, all right, your US dollars, man. All right, they don't want you. Most countries don't want the US dollar anymore, all right? The US dollar is weakest as ever have been in history. The countries are finding other currencies to do business and trade through, because they realize that the currency of America, all right, is fiat currency. All right, it's of no value. Okay? Excuse me. And the nations are not regarding the US dollar anymore. And with this, or concerning the Iranian nuclear deal, all right, they don't want US gold or silver, which is money, all right, currency, right? They don't want that, man. They want retaliation. They want, all right, they want this place to, you know, to be destroyed as well, all right, because they're enemies with each other. See? And this is a move that shows you that they're against Babylon, all right, so-called America. All right? Bear me 1 second. Again, Shalaki, you know, I'm traveling down the road. I'm walking down the road, so Shalaki. But, you know, that's a big move, and this show you that the Lord is really preparing that table, or sorry, that judgment, I'm sorry. They're preparing, no, their judgment is being prepared by the Lord, okay? All right, that's what I'm trying to say. Right? The judgment of Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon, which is America, the judgment is being set, it's being prepared, okay? And this is just a portion of it, okay? That tension of World War III is brewing, if you will, okay? It's brewing. The tensions are increasing, man. All right, and as watchmen, we gotta stand upon our watch. All right, and watch for these things, because the scriptures tell you that our salvation is nearer than when we believe. All right, and a part of this place being, I'm good, thank you. A part of this place being judged. All right, Shalaki, that was a co-worker trying to give me a ride to work. I'm almost here. I'm right here. I'm doing this video as well. So Shalaki. But like I was saying, you know, part of this place being judged, you know, that's the judgment the Lord has created for this place, Babylon the Great, okay, which is America. And ultimately the missiles, all right, is you know, that's a curtain call for the last plague to hit this place, to take this place out. All right. Remember, the Iranians have nuclear capability, and they're gonna be shooting their arrows on this place as well. Okay. When the Lord rains missiles on Babylon. Okay. Now I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm getting ready to close. This is Jeremiah 51 and verse 1. It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. Yeah, it's a nuclear destruction. It says, verse 2, now it says, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Yeah, they're going to assemble themselves together and rain fire, which is the nuclear missiles. It creates fire. All right, they're going to rain those missiles on this place, man. All right, and take this great whore out, what you call America. All right, verse 3, it says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, and it says, destroy ye utterly all her hosts, which is the army. Okay, so against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, which is the missiles. Prepare your missiles, all right, and aim them. All right, prepare your missiles. You know, first they do tests, you know, the nuclear missile test, and then, they test them, make sure they up to par. They can go a certain distance, okay, to, you know, complete its mission, all right, its task, all right, because, you know, the distance between Russia, I'm sorry, not Russia, but the distance between Persia or Iran and America is not that far. So all they need is enough kilometers, all right, for their missiles to reach this land. All right, and I believe it's less than 5,000, but you can look it up on your own time, you know. And I believe the Persians have that capability, all right. And during this military parade day, they show off their missiles, all right. So the Lord is preparing those arrows to be shot on this place, man. And when they begin to be shot, all right, they will not miss or break their ranks, all right. The scriptures tell you that, all right. They should not break their ranks, all right. And they're going to hit this place, man. But it's all right, according to the Lord's, all right, given the Lord's will, all right. It's all according to the Lord's will. And it's all according to, you know, the Lord giving that green light to the nations, or putting a spirit on those, you know, those leaders of those nations, or militaries of those nations, right, the armies, all right, just to rain their missiles on this place, man. So with that, you know, I'm gonna say, Lord willing, this video have been edifying. And slack you for the noise again. I was on my journey to work. You know, I had to walk to work. So, Lord willing, you were able to hear me. And Lord willing, this video was edifying. And to the next video, I want to say Shalom, okay? And Abba Abba. Shalom.